One of the most important things a young man can focus less on is being too matchy. I remember growing up, it was crazy. Like, I always used to try to match everything just to look fresh, right? I was always thinking, you know, I gotta match the red shoes with the red hat, and then the hat has to match the inner lining of my jacket, and there's no way I can throw gray into the mix. That'd just be outrageous. But I soon realized that having that mindset actually stops you from having good style. When you're excessively matching, it just looks like you're trying way too hard. So instead, I'd encourage you to just scale back a little bit. Not everything has to match. It's okay to add in a random little color pop into the mix. But I mean, hey, there is a balance, of course. You don't want to be on the other spectrum where your entire outfit is just a complete mess, you know, with just all these different colors and patterns. So here's a quick styling tip for those of you that have a hard time kind of finding what that balance is. Now, something I've always stuck to when curating my outfits is having a neutral base with one color pop. Now let me explain. When purchasing or selecting your clothing pieces, try going for strictly just neutrals first, because literally every color in its neutral version will match 100%. Even if you have two drastically different colors. And this is because it's all in that similar shade, as you see here. See, in the top color palette, black, blue, and green obviously don't match. But tone them down into neutrals and they'd be a great color combo. Kinda like you see here, I decided to take similar colors and create an outfit around them. On top, I've got on a gray individuals hoodie with a blue denim jacket over it, olive green sweatpants, Yeezy 380s with a variety of neutrals integrated into them, and that was my neutral base. Then I inserted that one random color pop, which in this case was a bright red Chiefs hat. And as you can see, it's a simple fit, not too matchy, yet not all over the place as well. And for those of you that want to see some more outfits from myself, be sure to follow Dre's Daily Drip on Instagram. There's plenty of outfits for you to draw some inspiration from. Now moving on to grooming. I know a lot of us young men, being prone to acne can be rough. And that's why it's so important. We must be aware and cancel out anything that may be causing irritation to our skin. Inflamed and irritated skin is acne's best friend, so you want as less irritation as possible. For instance, when washing your face, be very delicate and go with a gentle cleanser. Of course, you don't want dry skin, so go for a moisturizer. And another major thing I feel like most young men don't even realize they're doing is shaving. Shaving can cause major irritation, acne, razor bumps. So for me, I typically use my Manscaped lawnmower trimmer. This ensures that you're cutting the hair as close to the skin as possible without ever irritating it. Hey, by the way, new product alert from today's sponsor, Manscaped.com. They just released the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer as part of the performance package, which you could get for 20% off today. Nose hair trimming is definitely a ritual I feel most of us dudes forget to do. I've said it in past videos. You know, we typically don't notice our own overgrown nose hairs, but most people do, especially women, because girls are obviously usually shorter than men, so therefore they're always kind of looking up you know, from this unattractive angle, and that's why it's a very important step that you cannot overlook. Now, you can choose however you want to go about cleaning up your nose hair. I prefer the Weed Whacker. That's what I suggest. I mean, that's what it's designed for. And hey, you thought stepping on a Lego was bad? Yo, you ever try plucking a nose hair? This is a whole new level of pain, my friend. This that make a grown man shed a tear type of pain. So me personally, I trim only the excess hair poking out and nothing more. Because at the end of the day, we do have nose hair for a reason, to protect from viruses and bacteria. Now this nose hair trimmer, it's powerful, waterproof. It includes skin safe technology to prevent nicks, snags, and tugs. And like I said earlier, it is included in the performance package, which includes all the tools you need for below the waist grooming and hygiene. You can also select the peak hygiene plan, which allows you to receive new replacement blades every 3 months. And on top of that, today you can get 20% off plus free shipping just by visiting manscaped.com/Dre. I'll go ahead and put that link down in the description. All right, now moving on to hair. Us young men, we got a lot of advantages. Mainly, you know, we got a full head of hair. Some of us may not have a full head of hair forever, so make the most of it. Take advantage of this opportunity. If you're used to having long hair all the time, try going for a shorter cut. If you are used to having short hair, try to go for something long, like, you know, personally I am doing right now. I feel like long hair, you know, it gives you so much versatility. You can rock different looks for different occasions. You can adjust according to your specific outfit that day, whatever. And yeah, as you guys can see, I've been growing out my hair recently, and this allows me just to be creative. Some days I like to rock a slick back look, especially like on my gym days. And then on some days like today, I like to rock it a little more, you know, loose, a little more free. And of course, as I continue growing out, there's gonna be more opportunities to try various style choices. Now, for a lot of my younger dudes out there, your budget for clothing may not be too big. And that's why I always suggest every boy and every girl to own a white pair of sneakers. A white pair of sneakers eliminates the need to constantly buy new shoes to match certain outfits. The great thing about white sneakers is that it goes with everything. Every style, every color, every occasion. And hey, I even made a fashion video a couple months ago of me basically challenging myself to rock a whole bunch of different outfits with these same pair of white sneakers. And it was just kind of to prove the fact that you don't need a rack of, you know, all the latest sneakers, all the latest trends just to look dope. A white pair of sneakers will do just fine. And another great thing about white sneakers is that the second they get dirty, you just throw them in the wash and bada boom, bada bing, brand new. And now moving on, number 6, color coordinating your wardrobe. Now for me, on a personal note, appreciating and taking pride in my wardrobe is a big deal. Even having clothing period is a big deal. You look at kids in these other forgotten corners of the world who are deprived of just basic clothing. I mean, it would break your heart if you looked at the statistics. And so not only should we help and give and support those kids in those other countries, but we should also just really appreciate what we have, the clothes that we, you know, do have up in our closet. Show that appreciation by keeping everything clean, organized, and for me, color coordinated. And as you can see, you know, I haven't color coordinated in a while, so a couple of little things are getting a little out of place. But for me, that's just something I take pride in. And besides that, when your colors are all coordinated, it makes it very easy just to locate everything and make better outfit decisions. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about posture. Posture matters, you guys. The other day, I was going to one of my favorite smoothie joints, and I was sitting there and I saw this kid walk in. And I'm not trying to talk any mess on this kid. I mean, I'm not trying to pick on him at all, but he seemed like a very nice kid. But when he came in, man, this kid, you could just see insecurity just oozing, just dripping off him. I mean, he came in there with his head down and his just back kind of hunched over, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing today?" And he's like, kind of just waved like that, like no joke. It's crazy how many young men I see like this. I mean, this kid he wasn't 9 or 10. This kid was probably close to his 20s. And it's so important for us men to take a hold of our masculinity and to grasp a hold of that manhood that we've been gifted with. And so one thing we have to be very mindful of is our posture. You know, it shows major insecurity when you walk into a room with your head down, kind of hunched over. Even if you have like the dopest fit on, you know, you could be dressed up in a suit, well, I don't care, whatever, but the second you walk in with your head down, kind of hunched over, if you're just kind of sitting there on your phone, not really looking or engaging with people, I mean, honestly, if this is you, you're gonna have a very hard time in life, period. You're gonna have a hard time finding a job, finding a girl. I mean, especially in that department, women want to feel secure when they're with a man. They want that security. The main thing a woman looks at is a man's confidence. I mean, we've talked about this. Above all else, above all, you know, having a dope hairstyle, dope clothes, being good looking. Hey, if you don't have that confidence, then none of that matter to a woman. So I encourage you, keep that chest up, keep those shoulders back. You know, keep that chin up high. Even if you're a skinny dude, especially if you're a skinny dude. I mean, if you got a smaller frame, you got to do all you can, right? And trust me, I've been there. I was the skinniest, smallest kid in my class growing up. I know. And kind of like I said, you know, I mean, you can pretty much rock whatever And even if your style's not that great, but you got good posture, man, you hold yourself well, hey, that's gonna take you a long way. As well as hand gestures. I mean, you can't discount that as well. I have a friend in my life who has very petite hand gestures. You know, when he picks up something, or the way he talks is kind of very petite, and so you gotta be very mindful of that as well. That's played a very negative impact on his life. And I mean, hey, I've even had to, I'm still watching my postures, my hand gestures. I'm still, you know, this is a skill, you guys. It's something that you got to constantly work at and be aware of. I'm constantly watching myself, being mindful of my posture, my hand gestures, and just being aware, because I believe this goes a long way for a man. All right, now moving on, number 8, create a fashion board. Now for me specifically, I find Pinterest a great way to kind of curate your fashion inspiration and look towards celebrities or certain people, certain icons that look similar to you. For instance, I know a lot of you skinnier dudes have a hard time looking for clothing pieces or trying to find a style that looks good for your, you know, a little bit more smaller frame. So I would say for you guys, look towards someone like Timothy Chalamet. I mean, that would be a great person to kind of model your style after. And you could just simply create a Pinterest board around Timothy Chalamet outfits or hairstyles for that matter. Because the last thing you want to do is try to be someone you're not, and to follow certain trends just because everyone else at school is doing it, right? You gotta understand and accept who you are and what you look like, and then maximize your potential, not someone else's potential, someone else's look. You gotta figure out you and figure out what looks good on you as an individual. And so I feel like Pinterest is a great way to do that, to maximize that potential. And now the last thing I kind of want to just talk about today, I'm just gonna kind of speak from the heart here. You know, it's cool, you know, being young and having dope style, having dope hair and all that. But I believe that doing that, you know, the job's only halfway done right there, you know. Style also comes from just within, you know, your character, your values. I believe people need to see those things bleed out of you and percolate through, right? I believe your fruit can have a huge impact on the world, on your friends, and on others. I believe we're all called to a greater purpose in that matter. And so I just want to encourage all you guys, all you younger dudes out there, especially for those of you who are still in school, still in high school, junior high, all that. You know, it can be so easy to fall into this peer pressure and to kind of follow this pattern that everybody else has set at school, if that makes sense. It's so easy to fall into that pattern and to be just like everybody else, because if you're not like everybody else, you get made fun of, you get looked down upon, and you get kind of outcasted in that way. And trust me, I've been there, man. I was always that outcast at school, because I wasn't doing what everybody else was doing. I was the prude. I was the one, while everybody was messing around at school, getting into trouble, partying, drinking, whatever, I was the one who was hitting the ground running on my dreams and goals, you know, trying to make moves. And I got made fun of so much growing up. But if you're that popular dude in school, hey, that's cool and all that. But as soon as high school's over, hey, you're back to nothing. You ain't nobody. As soon as that last day's over and you graduate, you're back to square one, just like the rest of us. So, hey, I remember during those years of me in high school, I was just hitting the ground running. I was trying to find myself, find who I was, who God wanted me to be. And I was just trying any and everything. I was trying, I was putting my gifts and talents to many different things, and I was just seeing what I liked, you know. I was experimenting, and I encourage all you young guys to do the same, you know. Of course, we have so much influence, not just from kids at school, but even from our parents. I'm sure you guys feel the pressure and the weight of that as well. You know, you got your parents telling you need to find a real job. Oh, you want to be an athlete? Oh, you can't do that. You know, that goal's too high. Oh, you want to become a musician? Oh, you know, that the chances of that, You know, we have all this talk, not just from our friends, but from our family, our parents. And so honestly, I just encourage all you guys, man, apply yourself to many things and find out what you like, and don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to try something for a few years, and then, you know, if you end up not liking it, it's all good. At least you know now, and at least you tried it. And I'm sure you trying that is going to lead you into something else. You know, that's what it does. That's what failures do. If you allow failure, you don't look at them as failures. Look at them as learning experiences, and let them lead you. You know, those failures, if you let them, they will lead you to other successes. That's how I got here on YouTube. You know, I grew up making music, and long story short, but it introduced me into the YouTube world. You know, I mean, that's a whole other story. I can go into that later, but a lot of you guys know that story. But those failures along the way led me here to YouTube, and now I apply many of the things I learned from other past failures. I apply them now to my YouTube channel, if that makes sense. So, hey, don't be afraid to fail, and you know, because honestly, you're only gonna be young once, right? And so, especially if you want to be an athlete, or if you want to be someone on that level, hey, don't ever think you can't make it. So remember, nothing is a waste of time. Apply yourself to many things. Don't be just another soul in a sea of strangers. Apply yourself to many things. Try new things. I believe that's what God has called us to do. I don't believe He's only given us one gift and one purpose in our life. And you know, I believe He's given us lots of gifts and abilities, and it's our job to go out there and have fun with it. Create. You know, this world is your canvas. You know, get creative. Create your own narrative, right? And even if even if for the next 10 years you fail, right? And most of you guys are 14, 15 years old. Even if you try new things for the next 10 years and you fail, you're only going to be about 25 years old anyways, and you still got a whole life ahead of you. So even if worst case scenario, if you fail at everything you put your mind to, which is very unlikely, but just say worst case scenario, and your parents say, see, I told you so. Hey, then you can finally go and get that secure job or whatever. But hey, for all of us young bucks, even myself, I'm 28, and I still, man, I have so many different visions and ideas, and God's always downloading stuff in me. And I don't even know where I'm going to be at in the next 10 years. I could be doing something drastically different. I'm going to keep trying new things. I'm going to keep using my gifts and abilities for different things. One of my mentors and guys that I look up to, Jerry Lorenzo, he's a fashion designer. This guy's one of the biggest fashion designers in the world, and he didn't even become a fashion designer until a few years back, when he was like around like almost 40 years old. So hey, who knows where I'm going to be at when I'm 40 years old in 12 years. You know, I could be doing something drastically different. So hey, I just encourage you guys all, apply yourself, execute every little dream, every little thing that God downloads in your heart. Hey, just try it. Who knows? That's why I'm here today on YouTube. I never planned this. I just tried different things, and it kind of just boom, 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 led me right here to you guys. So stay open. Always stay open. Be ready for God to download something new, and execute. So I hope this video blessed you guys today. If it did, please be sure to give it a nice big thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new, and be sure to hit that notifications button to be informed when I drop new content, and I'll see you very soon. My name is Drexler. Shaka bra.